Daniel, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Excuse me. You know what I'm doing? Like something I should have done. I'm pulling up this. I was very bad. Like I didn't say the names of the other actors. And I should know the names of the other actors because they all do a good job in this movie. Dan Thiel. Okay. Hey, wait, dude, I'm in North Carolina. Where are you?
Whoa, I'm in Charlotte. Where are you at?
Come see me this weekend. I'm playing Scrooge at the, and we can talk about this online, I hope. I'm playing Scrooge at the Andy Griffith Playhouse in Mount Airy.
Oh my God. You are hitting an area of North Carolina that is so popular. I mean, the whole world comes there because they want to experience that Andy Griffith kind of a vibe.
That's how I found it. Because aside from doing this for a living, I revere the Andy Griffith Show. One of my favorite TV shows, along with The Odd Couple and The Honeymooners. I don't know that there's ever been a better show than those three shows.
Do you think
despite what?
Do you think that's the reason why that you have become such an incredible character actor? Is because those that were on Andy Griffith, they had to act out those parts and become those characters.
But you know, it's interesting. I'll tell you the truth. I became an actor not because I wanted to be a great thespian. I became an actor because I loved TV and movies, and I wanted to simply be on TV and movies. Now, ingeniously, I did what you're supposed to do, and that's I grew up in the theater, and I found the stage, and I worked out everything on stage first, and then I moved to Hollywood. But you watch any performance on the Andy Griffith Show, and you scratch your head and you think, why did they thought they were watching a documentary. They didn't know they were watching actors. That's what I think.
So true, so true. Hey, we've got something in common, cardboard boxes. You turned yours into a TV set. Mine was a rock and roll drum set.
Oh, I love it. Isn't it amazing how you can follow? I speak now. Look, I speak from my heart. I'm sorry if hopefully I don't turn off any of your listeners. But God is good, yep. Right? And when I was a kid, everything that I did and loved has turned into something that was part of my adulthood. From performing on a cardboard television, I go see Rich Little do impressions, and then 17 years later, we're starring together in The Late Shift. I used to be a vampire clown in a circus. 45 years later, I'm Grandpa Munster, who's a funny vampire. Like you can't make it up. It's because when I was a kid, everything that I had interest in, I'm sure it was because the big guy was saying, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. I need you to be a funny vampire. And I'll tell you when, but I'm going to need it.
See, I've always believed that, I'm totally with you, but I've always believed that we've lived this life before and we're getting a second opportunity to say yes to something that we said no to.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Hey, you got a nod from the wife over here to the right. She thought that. I hope that that's the case because I spent so much time trying to mentor people and trying to lead them as best I can to a solid path of reality, telling them that they will not get another chance to live this life. And that's why you have to stay focused on goals. But I'm also not the mentor you think. I'm not the guy who says, you can't have a family until you become the success you want to be.
Right.
No, I say you have to be a well-rounded citizen of the United States if you're here. And that means you have to, think about other people. You have to, be considerate of others. I try to move the actor out of the center of their equation and into the periphery so that they don't see their success in terms of only themselves, but in terms of how it could benefit others.
With all the roles that you have played, and this has always been my fascination with acting and even people who are in broadcasting, we assume these roles. We bring these roles to life. When do you get to be Daniel?
Oh, I spend as little time as myself as possible.
Really?
No, that's a lie. No, no, no. Dude, think of from the beginning. The second movie I got to be in was River's Edge.
Yeah.
Now I was a 21-year-old married man, playing a high school killer I didn't come home and say, be like, you've got to call me Samson to my wife. She would have left me. And so, she would have been like, well, all right, Samson, take out the garbage, tell Samson that he didn't bring his laundry in, so it's not going to get done. So that's, it's one thing you want to be that guy, and how do you exclude yourself from the rest of your life? Truth is, I'm even when we're working and even when I'm playing a despicable character, I am myself first and foremost. And we just did a movie now, and I want to make sure we talk about excuse me, Angel Baby.
Yes.
But I just directed a movie called Tuesday's Flu, in which I was not only one of the producers, I was the director and playing the lead villain. So needless to say, I had to be all those people at the same time, and then turn on the bad guy when necessary.
So when you play those roles, you're wearing all those different hats, do you do what I do? I do a defrag journal where I have to break it down and then go through the transitions and understand what each personality is bringing to the game.
Dude, no. Now I should do that. What do you call it, a defrag journal? I'm totally stealing that.
Yeah, go for it, man. That's what it's all about. In fact, I even have a channel that's called Defrag, and the reason why is because I believe that we all go through these transitions. I mean, I walk through this forest here in Charlotte every single day because I know that I've got to become somebody else after this studio.
Interesting. And so you go through the forest.
I do. This forest is my life.
So because I've been directing, let's say, myself in roles for so long, I started in the theater doing that. I don't generally have time to massage, my own kind of needs in the situation. I just move quickly from, actor to whatever, writer to, in whatever situation. It's easy to be a director and the character. It's a lot harder to be the producer. Yeah. When someone comes and says, well, the toilet at the church where we're having lunch doesn't work. And then I'm like, thanks so much. I have to go and relate, the death of this girl or whatever. But, Doug Tait's doing it in Angel Baby. He acted and directed the movie simultaneously and had one other difficulty thrown his way, which is he was also directing his wife, Isabel Cueva, who does such a great job in the movie. Now, not every marriage can go through that. You know what I mean? I'm blessed that I have a partner. Excuse me, Tammy and I. We edit our films together and produce our films together, and we laugh and smile the whole time. Yeah. But somebody has to say no. I've got to make the decision because it's my name on the movie. But they've crafted a great spellbinding thriller, and he did it with himself in the movie, which is not easy, not easy.
This movie is going to stay with the listeners. And what I mean by that is that, and they need to know that, first of all, you're going to go into Angel Baby and it's an experience. And you're going to want to talk about it, but you can't spoil anything for, and give it to other people. They've got to experience themselves. But I got to tell you, I want to go talk to a professional after this because it gets into my head.
Yeah, dude. Yes. No, it's very intense. And then, like the good filmmaker he is, there's twists and turns, and let's credit the writers as well, obviously, for writing it that way. But I mean, you're like, wait, what? Come on. Yeah. I think they did a terrific job with it, and I'm very pleased that I'm part of it.
Don't you think, though, that part of the thrill of this movie is the fact that as viewers, we sit there and go, my God, this could really happen to me.
Geez, yeah, I get, the whole like being alone in a cabin thing, number
Scares
one
me.
doesn't, yeah, it does really. I'm glad that two grown men can admit it, Arrow. Yeah, it scares me. You know, I mean, I'm not opposed to, I'm not one of those actors who's opposed to firearms. I'm, you know, all for self-protection. That said, I would suggest that no one sneaks into my cabin while I'm sleeping because it ain't gonna end well for them. But yeah, no, it's creepy McGillicuddy, and I don't want any part of it. I'm also, for a guy, for a poor schnook from Pennsylvania, there is a level of comfort that I now require in my life so that I can sleep well, so that I can act well. I don't require first class amenities always, but I do require clean sheets, a clean bed, and no rats or mice.
Right.
The huge is something that means a lot to me.
Being on the set of Angel Baby, what was it like to bring the scenes to life? Because, I mean, as you've said, you've got to go into editing, you've got to go into production afterwards, and then we get it as viewers. But what do you feel the same thing that we are when you're on that set?
So, Aaron, I don't want to spoil where I am in the movie, but I didn't take part in a lot of the scares. But the hardest part for me being on the set was initially not hugging and kissing Rebecca de Mornay and telling her I've loved her and don't tell the wife. I'm ready to, that's number one. You're like, don't act like an idiot. Don't act like an idiot. Don't act like an idiot. And they go, Dan, have you met Rebecca? And you go,
yeah.
Girl, you're so bad. It's a beautiful thing. And by the way, if I can, say about, I know how old people are because we've been around for the same amount of time. So I know how old people are. Rebecca de Mornay looks perfect. Perfect. And she's a great actress. No doubt about that. They did very good with performances in this. Dan Thiel, who plays Isabel's husband, is terrific. She's terrific. I'm okay. But it's it's a good movie. People are going to be really stoked to see it, and I think they could see it today.
Yes.
Like if you can't get to the theater, you could go to anywhere films are rented or downloaded or video on demand, and it should be available today.
Absolutely. And especially going into this weekend and stuff like that, because if you being here in North Carolina, I mean, you know what the weather's going to be like. We need a good movie like this to get us beyond this weather.
Oh, yeah. And can we just say one more time here in North Carolina, please come to the Andy Griffith Playhouse and please see me as Scrooge. We're playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tickets are still available. People could go to surreyarts.org. And I come out, if you're, a fan, bring your camera. I come out and I meet everybody after the show, take pictures. And beside me, we've got an amazing North Carolinian cast. So come and support them.
Wow. See, this is what I've always loved about you. You're so in touch with people. You know, even though you are Daniel Roebuck, you're still Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Man, and then you sit down and talk with us.
You sit down and talk with anybody. It's very unnerving for people who don't know. My family is so used to being at Disneyland. And if, somebody has questions, I stop and I answer the question, whereas another actor might keep moving. But I always, my former wife would say, I'll just see you at the ride.
Yeah.
My current wife will say, we're just going to go over there and sit in the shade.
Yep.
But look, I don't know. I look at it this way. What if I'm the only chance someone has to meet someone who does what I do for a living?
Yep.
And if I'm a jerk to them, they're going to say, actors are jerks. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that responsibility. So in North Carolina, you could come see Angel Baby on TV or wherever you can download it. And you can come see A Christmas Carol here on Mount Airy on the Andy Griffith Theater, right next to the Andy Griffith Museum.
I love it. Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you so much for that.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
All right, I'm going to try. I'm back. I'm back, Arrow. I'm back.
Later, Arrow.